Hey there, Sharon Horne-Ellstrom here. Welcome to day 1004 of What You Up To Now. Today we're going to talk about pieces of content that I created and some other things that are going on with respect to businesses and reasons and excuses to get on like a house on fire. To get on like a house on fire was our idiom for supersize your business for female entrepreneurs today. We talked about relationships that are really, really good. How do you get them? How do you maintain them? How do you nurture them? As well as what is the most important relationship, business relationship that you have right now? And what tips do you have for the rest of us to start, nurture, and maintain those relationships? Because we can all learn from one another, right? Especially as we go from industry to industry. Well, what do you do in your industry to maintain and nurture relationships? What do you do in the real estate industry to start and form relationships with the key people that you want to be in relationships with? It could be customer relationships, it could be relationship with yourself, it could be a relationship with your leadership team or your board of directors, whatever it is for you. So we talked about that. Our topic today, which is an awesome topic, is reasons for the BU 365-day challenge, our annual challenge, to do one thing every day that improves us reasons and excuses, and then blame comes into there too. Reasons, according to the internet and definitions, reasons are things that we agree and understand and learn from when we make mistakes that we take responsibility for. All right, this is what happened. I made this mistake. This is the situation. This is what I learned and why I'm not going to make that mistake again. Here's the reasons. I accept responsibility for what happened. Excuses, on the other hand, are reasons that we don't, or explanations that we don't take responsibility for. They're things that we use as excuses to let ourselves off the hook and to justify why we made that mistake. Well, my boss didn't tell me everything I needed to know in this situation. I sent out the email without all the facts, and now I'm in trouble for it. It's my boss's fault. We assess blame. A lot of businesses have used the COVID pandemic as a reason and taken responsibility and figured out what else they were going to do to survive. But millions of other businesses used COVID-19 pandemic as an excuse to pivot and change into a different business or to just stop doing business altogether. Usually there are other reasons that somebody stopped doing their business besides the COVID pandemic shutting them down. This is a really tough one for a lot of people, the distinction between reasons and excuses, because lots of people aren't willing to stand up and be accountable and responsible for their actions, their choices, their experiences, their decisions, their action or their lack of action in a lot of examples. Very small percentage of the population actually takes 100% responsibility for themselves. I don't know if there's any statistics on it. Maybe I'll look it up someday, but I'm a little leery of statistics anyway. So I think it's a great topic. I shared 6 ways to stop making excuses forever. And I'm going to actually share them again because I think it's really powerful. Number 1, stop living in the past. Stop harping on the past or talking about reliving the past unless you are finally going to learn the lesson and move on from that past mistake, because we all make mistakes. Secondly, take responsibility for your mistakes. The only one that can learn from other people can learn from our mistakes, but we're the only one that can take responsibility for them. To think that we're never going to make a mistake, never say the wrong thing, do the wrong thing, that's pretty ridiculous, right? Because wrong thing is determined by us and other people. We can only control our definition of the wrong thing or making a mistake. We define what a mistake is to us or not, or a failure. I don't believe really in failure. I think failure is just stepping stones or opportunities to learn what doesn't work, and that I need to go back to the drawing board and try something else, do something else, right? So take responsibility for your mistakes, your failures, your missteps, in relationships especially. Number 3, focus on your strengths and build on them. So often the world beats us up for our weaknesses and what we don't do right and the mistakes that we've made. And that's just ridiculous, because we made the mistakes for a lesson we needed to learn, not for the rest of the world to pick on us about, oh, you said that stupid thing, now we're going to tweet it 1,000,000 times, or we're going to share it on social media, and give you all kinds of negative feedback about it. Who needs that? Turn it off. Number 4, we're going to stop comparing ourselves to others. Stop comparing yourself to others. Unless you're one of those few percentage of the population that can actually compare yourself to other and use that to drive and motivate you, just stop doing it. Nobody else is like you, so why would you ever compare yourself to them? Nobody else has the exact same experiences, life, situation that we do. So let's model people and learn what we can from them, but let's never compare ourselves to them. Every one of our journeys is absolutely, positively different. So even if we have a coach who's telling us to do something and follow in their footsteps, we still have to take the action and do that and make that journey our own. And our journey through their system, their framework, their strategy, their steps, we're going to experience that differently than they do. Every person that goes through it is going to have a slightly different experience with it. Some people fly through it and have super duper success. Other people will struggle with one or another step along the way, and that's because they need to learn something at that step that they haven't learned yet in order to move on to the next step. Your life can be boiled down to really simple frameworks. The way to succeed at anything is the same for everything. It's the same process. And there's a gazillion different ways of presenting that process or system or patented process to other people. But guess what? It still all boils down to the same simple 4 or 5 step process. It's the same process. We just decorate it up and call it different things. I even have my own SOAP framework because it's my way of presenting it that a lot of people can relate to. If I just say, oh, it's a simple 5-step process, it goes in one ear and out the other. Where were we? Number 5. Learn to pick yourself up after falling down or making a mistake or failing. And finally, number 6, identify your weaknesses and work on them. And I have this one last on purpose because the world will tell us all our weaknesses in their opinion. It's only if we consider it a weakness. And guess what? A lot of the things that we think are weaknesses, they're not really weaknesses. We just don't give 2 cents about them. We don't care about them. We're not interested in it. We're not curious about it. We don't want to do it. We don't want to get good at it. I don't ever want to be a good basketball player. I don't ever want to be good at housework. I don't ever want to be good at certain things. I want to be a great grandma, but I don't want to be good at housework and cleaning. I have no interest in it. So that's just me. And everybody's different, right? There's things that other people tell us are our weaknesses that really, I don't think it's a weakness to not be good at housework. I'm good at a lot of other things, and I'm not so good at the majority of things, and I'm terrible at some things. One of those is housework, because I don't like it. I don't mind doing dishes, I don't mind doing laundry, but everything else, I don't like doing it, right? I'm done cleaning bathrooms and scrubbing floors on my hands and knees, etc. I just, did it for lots of years, don't have any interest in doing it anymore. All right, if I can help you in any way, hit me up and ask. If you're stuck on something, remember I do the 5-minute thing. You can Voxer me at pajamagrandma@gmail.com or direct message me, and we will find 5 minutes to get you unstuck. I don't want anyone to ever feel like they're stuck. That was always the worst feeling, or I don't know what to do. I remember when I first came in the online world, a lot of times I was telling myself 100 times a day, I don't know how to do this. I don't know what to do. And how does that help me solve the problem? It doesn't. It stopped me dead in my tracks and caused me to procrastinate and go down roads learning things and following shiny objects, which is another thing I never did offline. Who had time to follow shiny objects, raising a family and running businesses and working in corporate America offline? Nobody. So no shiny object syndrome there. Just, what do I need to learn to solve this problem right now? That's all I ever looked at. And I forgot to transfer that process and belief system onto the online world. I know it's really easy with all the distractions online to get pulled down different tunnels that aren't necessary for us right now. And so I've gone back to, do I need to learn this right now? Do I need to participate in this coaching program right now? Do I need this course right now? Do I need to learn this thing right now? Or can I just hire somebody to do that for me and I never have to learn it? That's been one of the biggest time and stress relieving things I've learned since I've come online is, hey, if I don't actually have to be the one to do it, I can just find the person that's best at it and I can get them to do it for my business. Really, really powerful, super growth strategy and time saver. All right, have an awesome day. I will be with you tomorrow. Let me know if you need anything.